All right, continuing with our power recruiting course, let's talk about home presentations. Let's talk about their role and why they work so well, because they really do work well. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. I know you're probably saying, well, I don't want to do home presentations, or I don't think anybody does home presentations anymore. And that's why we have the internet and Skype, and we have all of these things, and that's why I got into business. That's why I joined this company. I don't want to have to do meetings anymore. Here's what I want you to understand. Meetings work. I love the internet. I love technology. I love all of the things that it can do for us, but also know that there is something really special that happens with presentations, live ones, with real people in a real place. You're going to find it's very non-threatening to come to a friend's house. It's very duplicable, and it allows you to really do the business in a way that your people are going to be able to replicate. So here's what I would say is, talk to your sponsorship line. They'll let you know about what's the system and the whole scenario with your company. But if you're doing home meetings, there are some ways to do it that really will make them work for you. So let's go through some of the things that really make them the most effective. Let's begin with the setup, because how you set up your home meetings is what's going to ensure their success. You want to have the phone off the hook if you have one of those phones that actually has a hook, you know what I mean? Those things they used to call landlines. If you still have one, if you're like me, which I still do, you want to take it off the hook. I love your kids. I'm sure everybody loves your kids. We all know how cute your kids are. They shouldn't be in the home meeting. I love your dogs. I love your cats. I love your llama, your iguana, your snakes, and all your pets. They shouldn't be in the home meeting. Because there's going to be people who are allergic to cats, people who are allergic to dogs, people who are afraid of dogs. I know your kids are adorable, but it's a distraction during the meeting. So we need to have them upstairs or in the back room with the babysitter. We need to have the pets put away. We need to have all the distractions out of the way. Now, if you still use whiteboards, and I know there's people who still do, great, have the whiteboard. If you're using a DVD, plug and play something, that's probably more of you are doing that, great. Let's make sure that's all set up, and have that set up away from the entrance. So don't have, what the biggest mistake I see is someone's still using a whiteboard, or they have a big presentation on a screen or whatever, and then they have it by the door so that any late arrivals are disrupting the meeting. There's always late arrivals at every presentation. So, and this is, you're going to see it's the same thing in a large venue presentation. You always want to get the meeting room, and don't expect the hotel to figure this out. They don't. They don't have a clue. They will literally set up your meeting room and put the screen at the front of the room where the one door to enter the room is, so that everybody who enters late, everybody who has to get up and check their texting and their cell phone or go to the bathroom, disrupts the entire meeting. You make sure put the presentation in the front, entrance at the back. If you're using a whiteboard, check, are there markers? Are they fresh? Can they be read? Are they erasable? If you're using a DVD, let's double check it, triple check it. If you're doing a Skype conference, if you're going to an online presentation, let's make sure that we've checked the connection, all of that before anybody gets there. Now, dress, listen, I'm sure there's a culture in your team how to dress, so I'm not going to belabor this. I do think professional dress is better. Now, nobody wants to go to a presentation and somebody's up there in a tuxedo, or somebody who's dressed, really to the nines, and they're coming in from their job at the construction site or something, and they're dressed really casual. They're going to get defensive. I do believe, though, somebody who's hosting a presentation and somebody who's giving a presentation or leading a presentation at home, I think they should be one level up. And again, I like to dress down, and I did a million home presentations. I never wore a tie for them, but I usually wear a shirt and a sport jacket, or I might wear a pullover shirt like this and then have a jacket on top, or I'd wear a really elegant shirt. Right, and I might be wearing a $50,000 watch, right? So even though I could be wearing jeans and boots and whatever, but I got a $50,000 watch. So my prospects in that room are saying, this guy knows something about how to make money. this guy is successful, right? You need to look successful. And I know you don't have a $50,000 watch yet, maybe. That's okay. You still got to, my rule is dress one level up from whatever the prospects are. So my prospects are, going to a hotel meeting and they're wearing a sport jacket, I might be wearing a tie. If it's they're wearing a sport jacket, you know what I mean? Always one level above them. So they kind of say, well, he's obviously serious about this, or, well, she really took the time to put herself together, or she takes this business very seriously. I should pay attention to her. So you show that by your dress. Food and refreshments. This is can be a big distraction for home meetings. I'm delighted that you're an amazing Italian cook and you make the world's best lasagna, but this is not the place to serve it. And it's great that you have your grandma's secret apple pie recipe, and as people come from 15 states around to eat your apple pie, this is not the place to serve it. Because if you do, there's going to be people who say, well, of course the business works for her. She's such an entertainer, or he's such an amazing cook, and he had that big spread and he laid it all out, and I could never do that. So they think I can't do the business. So don't create distractions. Don't give people reason why the business doesn't work. If you want to have refreshments, like if your company has a product that works as a snack, as a sample at the end, that's the perfect scenario. If you've got a protein shake, or you got an energy bar, or you got a fiber cookie, or a certain energy drink or something like that, great. Then that's probably your refreshment at the end in the proper place of the thing when you want to sample it. But if not, this needs to be really simple stuff. And I'll tell you what I do. There's like, if you go to the office supply store, they have these little, they're like water bottles like this, but they're like this big. They're little mini pods, I think they're called. I'd like to get those little pods, and then you get a case of them. It's like, I don't know, $3, and you get 40 of them in there or something like that. And then you just have those laid out on the counter. And then it's, you don't want people drinking alcohol, no cocktails, no beer. You want people in their senses. It's not a party. We're not bringing them for a social thing. You want to create the vibe that this is a business presentation. Handouts, have them ready. Give people directions, real directions. It can't be, I don't know the name of the street, but there's a convenience store on the corner and you turn. No, you need to know. You get off the highway and exit 2B, Smith Avenue. You're going to drive 5 miles and then you're going to come to Oak Street. Turn left and go east on Oak Street for 2 blocks. And at the second stop sign, there's a street called Maple Drive. You're going to turn right there. On the third house on the right, it's a beige house with a yellow trim or what. Everything, give very specific directions, because remember, you're going to have the phone unhooked. You're not going to be able to answer and give direction. Don't set up chairs and make it look like a meeting. Have your living room or your dining room, wherever, just the way it normally is. And then if you have more people coming than you have furniture, and you need to bring chairs from the kitchen or the dining room into the living room where you've got the DVD playing or something, great. Do that only as people come. Because if you have extra chairs, people come in and say, well, geez, I guess they didn't get as many people as they were expecting. It just creates a subliminal negative connotation that you don't want to actually have. So do all the prep work, set yourself up for success. Now, as terms of the actual meeting itself, let's talk about that. Now, the presentation breakdown, I'm just going to give you like an overview of what it should be, but I'm assuming you've got a presentation for your company that's specific. But what are the components that are in there? Dream building, benefits of the business, benefits of the products, circles, or however you're showing how duplication works. You want to talk about the support structure that's going to be there if they decide to do the business. You give them the option. Do they want to be a retail customer? Would they like to build the business? Are they not interested? You want to have a call to action. You want to invite them to join. In terms of the concept of the presentation, the rule, and we'll go into this deeper in the leadership stuff, but basically you want a presentation that's simple enough they understand the concept, but complex enough they're afraid to challenge it. Other little things about the presentation, when it's 1 to 4 people, I just stay seated for that. Even if I'm leading it, even if I'm going to open it up, even if I'm just going to throw it to a DVD. 1, 2, 3 people, it seems kind of weird when you stand up in the living room or whatever. 5 or more people, okay, stand up, everybody looks at, the focus is directed at you. That works fine. Intro, ask people to turn their cell phone ringers off or their buzzers off. What you want to say in the intro, if let's say you're introducing someone who's leading it in your house, or you have someone who's introducing you, the points you want to put in, ask them to turn off their ringers on their cell phone. You let them know this person who's leading the meeting is successful in the business. They're there to show you how to be successful, and that they're a friend of yours. So those are the things that you want to key in on the intro. Length of the meeting, that's probably determined by your company, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, whatever it is. We're not going to go into that because it really doesn't matter. I want you to follow the system for your company. If you got skeptics, this is where you'd get them as the home meeting. Usually they've been weeded out before they get to a big hotel meeting. They wouldn't show up. I shouldn't affirm that, but the truth is, I've never had a problem with skeptics in meetings, and I kind of take that as a challenge when I do have them. And I see that as, okay, here is a challenge for me to overcome. So I'm going to go into this a little more in the chapter where we talk about the big venue thing. I'm going to explain to you how to handle skeptics, okay? Other thing is, during the actual presentation, don't identify guests. All right, so if you've got 3 or 4 people who are the team members, and then there's only 2 guests, don't identify who's team members and who's guests, because again, it's like, wow, I guess this isn't as big as I thought. I guess they didn't get as many people as they expected. Just know this. Set the meetings up. Do the homework before. The kids, the pets, the setup, the handouts. Have whatever the take-home packet is, have those ready. Have them in a drawer, in a briefcase, whatever. Don't have them out because you don't want them going through the packet when they're supposed to be watching whatever the presentation is. But have that ready, the product samples, everything. Do the setup right. Start on time. If it says it's going to start at 7:30, by 7:33, you should be into it. Don't apologize for people who aren't there. Don't talk about people who aren't there. Don't say, well, man, I was expecting 12 people tonight and you 4 are the only ones who show up. Well, what do you think they're thinking? They're saying, well, what do these 8 people know that I could be home watching American Idol too? Okay, so don't even go there. You got 4 people there. Don't even think about the 8 that aren't there. You create the best environment for those 4 people. The other thing I would say about home meetings is they're not huge meetings. And meetings of 4, 5, 6 people can be hugely successful for you because they really can duplicate down. And then you've got 2 lines doing home meetings on a Tuesday night. And then you have 4 lines doing home meeting on a Tuesday night. Then you have 15 meetings going on in a week. Then you have 30 meetings going on in a week. Then you have 300 home meetings going on in a week. And then you have 3,000 home meetings going on in a week. And we're going to look later in some of the leadership chapters. We're going to talk about how you build from event to event and how the home presentations will feed into the larger venue like the hotel presentations. But just know that a lot of the business is built in small home presentations, 3, 4, 5 people, 6 people, and those are really successful. They really can build the basis of foundation and drive strong recruitment for your business.